In today's video, we're going over whether or not modern sealed product is investable. Also, I'm going to even touch base on what I'm investing on right now during this market dip. All that and more in today's video. If this is your first time to the channel, I'm Cody from Sellig's Pokemart. We are a licensed reseller of the Pokemon TCG. Before we get started, make sure you do me a solid. Hit that like button if you like this type of content. Subscribe. And hit that notification bell, that way you're notified every time I upload new content. First things first, we recently just hit a 200 subscriber milestone. In return for your support, I'm holding a 200 subscriber giveaway. That is in my last video, so check that out if you have not checked that out. To enter, it's completely free. Let's make it a goal to hit 300 next. And when we do, I'm going to open up a really cool vintage booster pack here for everyone. To more effectively invest in sealed product, you need to better understand the market and stop buying into the FOMO or the panic or the hype. And the FOMO, it's just the fear of missing out. It's crazy how much that fear can really drive bad investments. One big thing that's been thrown around a lot lately is people are claiming that the market has crashed or it's crashing. Don't buy into these rumors. Pokemon is a very profitable company and it's here to stay. Now, I by no means claim to be an expert. I'm just a passionate collector and small business owner. But I really strongly feel like we are not experiencing a crash. We are just in the low end of a dip right now. It's no secret that when you have high demand and low supply, prices skyrocket. But what happens when you have the opposite? Well, that's what we're experiencing now. We have lower demand and high supply because Pokemon did start revving up the production. And things with the pandemic have really turned around. And restrictions have started to be lifted across the world. Meaning people can start enjoying their lives the way that they used to. You're more likely to be spending all your money on Pokemon last summer because you were trapped indoors and had nothing better to do due to all the restrictions. This summer, though, things are different, and restrictions have been lifted. People want to enjoy their money in different ways, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, what happened over the end of 2020 and the beginning of 2021 with all the modern products soaring sky high? That was not natural growth. That was accelerated artificial growth. During this short time span, you could go to a store, buy just about anything, and take it home, and it's already worth more than MSRP. And it's because of this which led to so many scalpers in the hobby. And it led to this mentality that people felt that they needed to hoard all this product, thinking that they were going to create a huge financial gain for themselves, a gold mine, in a sense, from sealed Pokemon product. And unfortunately, that's not the case, and that's not how the market works typically. So if that's not how you effectively invest in Pokemon, then how do you? It comes down to timing. Timing is everything with investment, whether it's Pokemon, other collectibles such as sports cards, or even stocks. Timing is one of the most key aspects to investing. You never want to buy into these products during the initial release of a set or the peak of a hype of the set. A lot of these investors and scalpers learned the hard way because they bought in with Battle Styles, Chilling Reign. They bought tons of ETBs, held on to them, thinking that they'd be worth all this money just because they saw what was happening with recent sets, not being knowledgeable of how past sets actually have worked. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there with these new sets, Evolving Skies and Celebrations. They probably feel the FOMO, the fear of missing out. They probably feel like they have to go out and buy everything right away before it's too late. And I'm here to tell you that's not going to be the case. I'm very sure of this. I'm going to explain to you why. Battle Styles and Chilling Reign were both pretty decent sets, but they had one downfall. And this is why they are readily available on shelves at stores whenever you go to your local Walmart or Target. And that really comes down to the fact that people claim that they have bad pull rates. Now, I don't know if I completely agree with this, Like I've mentioned in many other videos, I feel like a lot of people got spoiled, technically, by the pull rates from recent sets like Shining Fates, because you can get a pull in the reverse spot or the hollow spot. And same with the Vivid Voltage set, where you can get an amazing rare in the reverse spot or a hollow rare. I also believe another reason these sets have this reputation comes down to the size of the set and the amount of chase cards in each set. When you have this many chase cards, it makes it even harder to get that specific card you're hunting for. Therefore, a lot of people are very disappointed that they just can't pull the one card that they really are after. Evolving Skies is going to be no different. It's going to be a very large set with a lot of chase cards. That means if you're after a specific card, you have a ton of other chase cards in the mix, which make it much more difficult to pull that one card that you are after. This is why I feel like people are going to go through the same cycle with Evolving Skies. Now, I'm not saying Evolving Skies is a bad investment. I'm not saying it's a bad set. It's going to be a great set. There are a lot of amazing artworks and a lot of amazing chase cards. But everyone will get to the point where it's not worth opening the amount of product to continue to pull the same cards over and over again. That's the point when people start buying singles to complete their sets, or they just give up on building the master set altogether. Now, you may have a few people there that are willing to continue to dump money on product just because they want to pull every card in the set. And that's okay. But the majority of collectors in the hobby can't afford to do that. They just want to enjoy opening packs. And they would rather open up sets where they can get the cards that they want or get cards that they need. So to answer the original question, is modern sealed product investable? The answer is yes, as long as you follow these basic guidelines, you're much safer with your investments. Don't ever buy in during the hype. I'm not even telling you any specific sets to invest in. As long as you follow these basic guidelines and don't buy in during the hype and wait for the time, wait for that right moment to buy in, you are already making a safer investment than what you are if you're just buying into the hype right away. While you wait for that hype to die down, just enjoy opening product, because guess what? The Pokemon Company is going to continue to print these modern products because tournament play is opening back up. And with tournament play, there is a rotation. Typically are going to be the last few sets that came out. And as long as that set is in rotation, you can expect to see more and more of it being printed. Which is why there's no rush to start stockpiling these products if you are trying to invest. Now, which products are best to invest in? Realistically, that just comes down to your preference. But I honestly think it's smart to diversify. Alright. Now, we're not talking about singles in this video, but singles are also something you might want to look into. But when I talk about diversifying in modern sealed products, I'm talking about mainly three things. And that would be ETBs, build and battle kits, and booster boxes. Realistically, I think the safest of the three are build and battle boxes. I have not known any instances where they have reprinted these pre-release kits for these pre-release tournaments. They are a very cool piece to have. I personally have made a lot of money off of a Sun and Moon set that I had. I held on to them and sold them during the summer of the pandemic, and I think the absolute worst gain was about double my money. In some cases, some of these battle boxes tripled or quadrupled my money. Now, I'm not saying go onto eBay and buy all the build and battle boxes that you can find and pay double MSRP, because that would just be silly. If you're going to make money and make a profitable return on an investment, you need to buy in at the low. And honestly, I would not buy in any higher than MSRP, especially on a product like this. If you're paying more than MSRP, it's not the time to buy for your investment. Now, we are talking about modern products. Now, we're not talking about out-of-print products. Keep that in mind. So, Evolving Skies is the main set. What about Celebrations, a specialty set? And especially since this specialty set is the 25th anniversary set. So if you recall, Celebrations is supposed to have about 40-ish cards in the main set and 25 cards in the subset, and this excludes secret rare. So we're looking at about 75 cards in the whole set combined. What other sets have similar amounts of cards? Well, Shining Legends, Generations, Dragon Majesties. These are all very small sets, and the same thing happened to those sets as what I feel like is going to happen with Celebrations. People get bored of them much quicker because they're much easier to complete. Now, I'm not saying Celebrations is going to be easy to complete. Being that there is a subset, there could be a challenge to completing this set, but typically these smaller sets lose hype a little bit quicker. That doesn't mean Celebrations is a bad set or going to be a bad set. Same thing with Shining Legends. Shining Legends was hard to even move off shelves at one point in time. It's hard to believe because you look back and you see the price of ETBs right now and you're like, wow, how is it ever that hard to sell one of these products at MSRP? But it gets to that point eventually because you could only open up so much product before you're tired of constantly pulling doubles and triples of the same thing all the time. That's why I honestly feel like you don't have to worry about finding Celebrations on shelves. It might be difficult at initial release, but it will not be long before you could find it everywhere, and it'll get to the point where it is sitting on shelves and nobody's touching it. This is when you buy in. Just like I said, you wait out the hype and you buy during the low. Now, I did mention earlier that I was going to go over some of the things that I'm investing in. And what I've been buying up lately during the low end of the market right now, during this dip, are CGC graded cards. I am a big fan of CGC graded cards. I think their slabs are gorgeous, and they are a very harsh grader compared to PSA, which is not a bad thing. Meaning, if you buy a lower grade in CGC, a lot of times it can grade up higher with PSA. So, some of the cards that I bought, this Illustrator Charizard, I paid the same price for the graded copy as it's worth raw. And this is what the last thing I'm getting at with graded cards. I always recommend trying to find a card as close to the raw price as possible. Now, I know that sounds crazy. Wouldn't everyone love to buy a graded card for the same price as ungraded? But you just have to look. The market is flooded right now, and there are deals out there. Trust me. I picked up this for about $35, $40. It's a 9.5 Venusaur Celebi. PSA 10's worth probably $150. It's an easy regrade as a 10. Picked up this Japanese banned card. It might only be a CGC 5, but it's a banned card, and I picked it up for about $25. That's the price, if not lower than the raw copy. And this, a CGC 7.5 Shining Raichu, $250. You could buy these in near mint condition for about $250 to $300 raw. And same with this base set Venusaur. I have a 7 in the CGC. Paid $70 for that card. Those go for about $70 to $80 raw. One last thing. Let me know in the comments below. Do you like the new setup with the lighting, with it darker and the brighter lights in the background? Everyone, if you like this type of content, make sure you thumbs up this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, everyone, I really appreciate the support. Let's make like Charizard and keep this passion burning.